Friends. So, what is situational awareness? Come on, anyone? I'm sure all of you know.
Surrounding, the awareness around your surroundings.
Very good. What is happening around us? So that we are aware. Sometimes we are in the line of fire. All of you know what's line of fire? Okay. When something falls, it falls this way. If we happen to be there, then we are in a line of fire. Just like in the army, when they are shooting, if anybody is in front, it's called friendly fire. Friendly fire, that is called line of fire. So many accidents actually occur because people decided to do work the way they want to do it. Okay, the basic safety precautionary measures are all, I believe, Mitsubishi elevators have provided. You want PPE, personal protective equipment, all provided. You want harness, all provided. You want tools, all the fantastic tools are provided, right? You want training, all are provided. But it is the people who actually decide to do finally, hey, we are running short of time. I think, no, it's urgent. Let's do it faster. When you decide to do it faster, we tend to actually do away a little bit of our safety aspect, right? We tend to compromise. And sometimes we are lucky. When we are lucky, nothing happens, right? But when when the situation is not on our side, sometimes that's where accident happens. So I hope none of us get involved in any accident, my friends. You have been doing well, we've been fine. So we need to know the machinery, the tools, and the equipment that we are using, what can happen if we overdo, what can happen if we overexert, etc., etc. And then the environment, and most of us are in the open environment. Sometimes you are in the lift shafts, so that becomes somewhat of a confined space environment if not careful. So we need proper ventilation. And some places there may have been some no gas trapped in the lift shaft at the bottom, and maybe we are not able to see, and that becomes a potentially dangerous situation. So ventilation is also required, and also the lighting are required, and the tools, equipment to prevent any electrocution. So we need to have proper tools. Okay, friends, and work coordination is very important. Always ensure coordination. Okay. Later I'll share with you one of the incidents that occurred in quite a number of years. I think in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. All right. There was one Bangladeshi worker who actually got trapped. All right. Later we'll talk about that, and then what happened after that. Yeah, friends. So in ensuring safety, the very basic that we must always consider, remember, and implement is always ensure that all basic legal and other requirements are complied with. So what is considered as legal and other requirement? With regard to Singapore context, the Workplace Safety and Health Act is the basic requirement. It's a basic legal requirement. Then we have the subsidiary legislations falling under this main act. The moment you see act, it means there's a main. You see any regulation, that means it is a subsidiary. So when we are working at height, we work at height, regulations apply. When you work in confined spaces, the work in confined spaces, regulations apply. When we work with ladders, now code of practices apply. These are falling under ACOP, friends. ACOP. If you're not sure about it, later consult Yusri. He knows very well about ACOP, friends. Okay, so the only problem, like I said just now, is why accidents happen. When we talk about safety, we always talk about accident, right? Safety is absence of accident. That means everybody works safely, come to work safely, go back safely every day. Okay, all right. So I myself went through an accident last time when I first started working. I got cut here, and when using a vertical milling machine. Why? Because I thought I was smart using the vertical milling machine. Then at the same time, I wore gloves, cotton gloves, which is actually prohibited. Why? I want to get the job done faster, so that during the end of the shift, I can machine off 1,500 parts instead of only 1,200. So I took my own initiative, disregarded my supervisor's advice, because supervisor cannot be standing alone with us, right, friends? Okay, so it is a residual risk. So residual risk is normally with the people. All right, with the people. Maybe for those of you who are involved in risk management, you might have already heard about residual risk, right? The risk where you and me, The safety manager, safety officer, the managing director, the operations manager cannot do anything to really prevent accident. It is up to the individuals. When we try to cut corners, that is where sometimes unlucky, under slightly different circumstances, accidents do happen. Okay? That is what we choose to, especially when there's no supervisor. Bo cheng hulang ah. When there's no supervisor, there's no manager, there's no safety around, usually not around, people try to actually cut corners, right? Cut corners and hoping to finish the job in time, right? So we have to manage that. How to manage that? We manage that through legislation, all right? What the law says, we must follow. Then what the subsidiary legislation say, we must also follow. And then what the code of practices say that are applicable now, using of ladders, also got code of practice, friends. So we have to take a look into that. Okay. So in regard to the main legislation, the law in Singapore is very explicit. It talks about the duties of employers, self-employed persons, the principals. Who are the principals, my friends? Who are the principals? In this case here, for Mitsubishi elevator, it is the principal. Okay, when you outsource to subcontractors to do your work, they are your subcontractors, you are the principal to the subcontractors. And then when these subcontractors further outsource to subcontractors, so that those subcontractors are actually the principal to the subcontractors. So this way. So an entity can assume the role of many different entities at one time. All right. So even occupiers, companies that occupy a place to do business are also mentioned in the law, specifically what are their roles and responsibilities, duties as well, including now manufacturer suppliers. If you loan, let's say, mobile elevator work platform, Caesars Lift, for example, right? Then those suppliers have to ensure that whatever they supply is safest possible for you to use. Then when it comes to your turn, then it becomes your responsibility to carry on from there to ensure that it is safest for use. Okay, friends? Then, of course, the code of practice. So what is how to manage residual risk? Managing residual risk is managing the people. How? Incentivize. Okay, incentivize. They do good. I hope the management is listening. They do good, incentivize them, give them rewards. Like just now somebody answered, right? So maybe give a token, something like that. So this will encourage anything that fills the pocket up, actually makes safety become better. Actually, people are motivated to participate. All right. Okay. Then also at the same time, we need to have that punitive measures, punishment for those people who disregard safety, that cause harm to themselves as well as others working with them. And this is what happened to many cases of accidents. The major one that we had in Spiros in 1978, I was a student at the time. It was because of one person who did a cut corners, and because of that, 76 people died in Singapore, the largest shipyard accident. That is residual risk. Someone who decided to cut the vent pipe instead of removing the bolt and nuts using the spanner. It's a shortcut, faster, right, to cut using the gas cutter. That was how the ship blew up, and 76 people died. And then we have 91, according to some records, 91 people injured but survived. Yeah, friends? So manage them. Sometimes we need to have standing supervision, not only supervision. Standing supervision means before, during, and after. There must be one supervisor, especially in the Jurong Island plants. There will be standing supervision when they do plant shutdown. Why? Because they cannot afford to have any accident, any uncontrolled flame, because it can trigger a domino effect, which can be very disastrous for the whole plant. Okay, friends? I hope all of you can follow right now. Okay, let's take a look at this video and see what you can learn from this video, my friends. Okay, man is central. Remember, the residual is man. We decide normally what to do, right? Especially like when there's a traffic light at night, we reach a junction maybe at around 12:30 or 1 a.m. Then they see bonang, nobody else. Then we have a tendency to chiong, right? So that is a man. Man decide. So man must be knowledgeable. It must be aware of the situation. What are the potential hazards that might occur, and also the attitudes and behavior must be correct. And then the competence is here. Of course, you have prerequisite before you join Mitsubishi elevators, right? And it must be attentiveness and also focus on the job, right? Don't get distracted by mobile phone, WhatsApping, which are not necessary. These are, I think, very common. because of this WhatsApping, you know, then it distracts a lot of work. So maybe you have to control your mobile phone. Teamwork and coordination is very, very important. Get the one, the accident I'm going to mention later on is regarding teamwork and coordination, and of course effective communication. That means when one is on the lift shaft, one is on the lift carriage, one is outside, you know, then we need to have proper communication. Make sure that it is effective. Okay, friends, let's take a look at this one here. See what we can learn from here, friends. Just hang on. Maybe I did not. Maybe you did not hear the sound, right? Okay. Yes. Readjust. Yeah, readjust the settings. So what do you see here, my friends? What do you see here, my friends? Anyone? What do you see here in this video? What can you pick up from the video? Anyone? Yusri would like to know, maybe pass the mic to anyone who
ask someone to tie your shoelace.
Okay. So your focus was on the shoelaces, huh? Okay, what went wrong in that incident? Actually, what went wrong? Anyone? The gentleman right in front of me, the nearest to the camera, striped shirts.
Striped shirt.
You like to try? Yeah, you, the handsome guy. The handsome and muscular guy. What do you think, my friends? What do you think?
Coordinate and communication.
Sorry, come nearer so everybody can hear you.
Coordinate and communications.
Can't hear you, sorry?
Communication.
Communication, yes. Communication. There wasn't any communication. No one ensured, right? Especially when there is a lockout takeout application. This is where sometimes people are not careful. Say, hey, how come? Who actually, took out this plug? It's supposed to be there, Then you just pick up and then plug it where someone is doing maintenance. In US, someone just got crushed more than 10 years ago when they were doing the plastic injection molding machine, right? Setting up, right? But why? Because there wasn't any communication. That's why in Singapore, since 2006, this lockout takeout becomes a must. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. So lockout takeout, why? What's the purpose of lockout takeout, my friend? Maybe another person. What is the purpose of lockout takeout? Anyone? Jusri, help me pass the mic around. Maybe you have been applying lockout takeout, but maybe not really sure why you apply lockout takeout.
Ensure to people is have the lockout takeout system to without their permission they cannot take out anyhow. And local communication once they done their part, so another person can go and take out the lock.
Yes. Okay, so very good. In that lockout takeout, the purpose is actually to prevent any accidental activation of power. Okay, that's why in your application of the lockout takeout, if you realize on the lock there are on the lockout there are a few tech holes. If there are 3 persons working on separate valves, for example, or instrumentation, then there must be 3 different locks. Whoever finished, remove the lock. Whoever finished, remove the lock. And as long as there is a lock, that means someone is still working on it. Got it, friends? All right. So that is the purpose of lockout takeout, to prevent accidental activation. Very good. So I'm sure all of you are very good. Yeah, friends? Okay, let me just continue with the share. Okay, so this is the continuation, friends. Okay, I hope you are able to focus on the video just now, friends. Okay, so let us discuss what are the real and common matters of concerns with respect to safety and health and well-being in the course of performing your work. So I would strongly encourage all of you to participate. All right, get the mic and then say it out, be frank, let your top management also can hear, so they can hear from your mouth. Actually, maybe they can help you achieve a much better way of working and ensure your safety, my friends. Anyone wants to say something? Maybe there are 2 or 3 of you would like to say something. What are the common or real concerns when you perform work, the difficulties with regard to safety and health and well-being? One is what? The client maybe rush you, right? What else? Maybe Jusri, help me pass the mic around. Maybe somebody will say something.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir.
I think one comment is, I think workers will feel inconvenience during work when they have to put on heavy safety harnesses and lanyard hooks. So I think this is the real concern of workers on the ground.
Yes.
So although they know the rules, it's tough.
Definitely, this is definitely this is the use of body harnesses is to help secure against falling. But of course, with the double lanyard, with the shock absorber, with the double snap hook, all these, it becomes heavier. So one of the ways is that we can look and opt for the lightest possible body harness set. They are available in the market. Of course, it is expensive, but that is secondary. The most important will be to actually anchor, so that at any point of time, if anyone were to slip and fall, they will hang. Okay, friends, very good. Thank you, sir. What else, my friends? Anyone else, my friends?
Another concept is because the lift shaft is very narrow, very small,
Very soft.
Yeah. So, as the gentleman has suggested, even wearing a helmet is also a challenge for the workers inside. Thank you.
Maybe Jusri can help me because your mic doesn't, your sound system doesn't pick up, so I can't hear. It's very soft.
The question is, at certain areas, they are unable to wear the safety helmet because the space is constrained.
Okay.
So we are not wearing a safety helmet. We utilize.
Oh, okay. Safety helmet is not the only solution, my friends. Have you heard about bump caps?
Yes, we also do using a bump cap for the maintenance scheme, but not for the construction.
Okay. All right. When we have limited spaces, bump caps will be the solution. But this bump cap is not the ordinary bump cap. It must be the approved type. Okay, approved type where they have the cushioning inside. It acts like a safety helmet, but it is smaller, almost like the bicycle helmet, right? Like that. So that is a purpose of bump cap, actually, to accidentally to prevent injury through accident bump. But the moment where there is a risk of being hit by falling objects, the law is very stringent about that. So you no choice, bopian have to wear a hard hat, safety helmet. Again, it is of approved type. There are a few designs of safety helmets that you can reconsider slowly. But I believe you are very interested in safety, right? So look at the other designs, which are maybe more smaller, but it accords the same protection. Okay, try and look into that area, my friend. So very good. That is a real concern. Why? Because restricted space within the lift shaft, right? Very restricted. I've been into lift shaft doing investigations. So I know the difficulty working, especially when you have the lift car there, especially also, right? Very difficult. Very good. Thank you. What else, my friends? I hope I can hear all of you well.
Hello, morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah, so the question here is why must we wear mid or low cut safety shoes?
Sorry again, what the question is?
Okay, which one is preference, right? Especially in construction, right? Installation.
Yes.
Installation. Are we supposed to wear, can we wear a low cut safety shoe or a mid cut safety shoe? So what's the difference? Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. The law is silent about whether you use boots or shoes. The law says foot protection. That means the protection must come with the steel toe cap that helps to prevent impact. Then they must have a sole plate that can prevent protrusion from if you accidentally step on anything sharp. So it is up to your discretion, your team's discretion, whenever you have to work in a construction site, let's say new installation, is the place muddy or not? Okay, is a place muddy or not? I saw a few workplaces here in Japan, very nice. They really take care of the flooring as well. So you can't see people working in the mud actually. Yeah. Okay, so that's good. So we have to emulate that. But sometimes it is out of our control, right? Especially when we are nominated subcontractors. So that is where we have to exercise our judgment. Whichever is more nimble for us to do squatting, we have to climb, something we have to stand, right? So choose something that you are okay. As long as you have these two elements of safety. One is a steel toe cap that prevents your toes being crushed by anything that falls. And another one is the sole plate, which is to protect any accidental protrusion. Let's say step onto angle bar, which is cut off, or long nails, right? Large nails. So these are the two concerns. So the law is very general in that sense. So it is free play, but these two elements must be there. I hope I answered the question, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Maybe further questions later on. Or is there any more?
No, just proceed first.
Okay. All right, friends. So this is one case that maybe I was mentioning just now. All right. It happened on 27th of February 2021. All of you can see that? Okay. A 29-year-old Bangladeshi worker, not a trained lift worker, was assigned to assist his co-worker, which is actually a trained lift worker, right, to carry out the lift maintenance works. So this is somewhere near Beach Road area, towards town. Okay. The worker was situated at the top of the lift car when it ascended. Right, it ascended, not descended, ascended, and trapped him in a narrow gap. That means he was squeezed in between the lift carriage, and that was between the second and third stories of the building and the metal support structure, which is the hoistway, which is already there. Okay, so it happened at North Bridge Road actually, to be more specific, and the worker was actually subsequently extricated after more than 5 hours. He was trapped there because the civil defense actually got difficulty in getting access to him. Okay, so by the time they reach him, he was already gone. So for those of you who want to know about the case, this is the report. You can you can actually scan this QR code. I'm sure you can use your mobile phone now to scan this QR code. Have a look at the report, the Straits Times report. And then what happened to the technician? Because of investigations, it revealed that finally the technician, who is actually a trained lift technician, was guilty. So he was actually jailed for that reason. Okay, friends? So this is the QR code for what happened to the lift technician who was actually found to be negligent. So in this case, what do you think went wrong? What do you think went wrong, my friends? What do you think went wrong, my friends? Anyone? Yusri, help me pass the mic again. Someone must have said something. What went wrong? Open up the QR code and you can take a look actually what went wrong. There is what? Poor communication, friends. There's poor communication. So communication is very important, especially when one is inside the lift shaft, one is outside. Okay, sometimes WhatsApp doesn't reach. So you need to have an alternative which is feasible. Okay, and what could have been done to ensure that such an accident do not occur in the first place. Right? Okay, so apply the Kaizen for safety in order to ensure that personal and collective safety and health is ensured, my friends. So personal commitment at all levels are very important, not only for workers, but also to the management staff, engineering staff, and so on. Okay, ensure you deal with the residual risk appropriately, ensure competence and skillfulness and compliance to legal and other requirements, ensure timely risk assessment. That means before you do any task, make sure that your risk assessment is up to date. Okay, different locations may differ in the risk assessment. So we have to manage that. Okay, sometimes we are encountered with something new which is not inside the area while doing the job. So what do? Don't have to actually, hey, stop, let it be like that, and then you have a discussion. No, there and then you discuss, get the subject matter expert, whoever is expert in the field, discuss and decide, and get on with the work. Of course, the safest possible. Once the work is done, update the risk assessment. That's called the last minute risk assessment. Not many people are talking about it. Yeah, so you can do that. You cannot allow something to stop and then, okay, come, let's sit down and do a no. Discuss then. It is all very dynamic. What is happening on site is very dynamic. Yeah? So on the job training, toolbox talk, this is very important, my friends. That's why I highlighted it. So toolbox talk, during which we stress about teamwork and good coordination, very important. A company called Keppel Shipyard at that time, now they Citrium, they actually embarked on a specific toolbox talk sequence where they have actually been able to reduce the accident frequency rate by 85% by ensuring that before they start work every day, they do a toolbox talk. And the toolbox talks is very standard. One is greetings. Good morning. If it's in the evening, good evening, the greetings. Second is talk about the job, the intended job. What is intended to be done. The third one is talk about the potential dangers evolving that could be coming arising from the intended work. And then the fourth one is how to ensure safety at work. Right? And the last one, the 5-step, is about ensuring good housekeeping. Why? Because they discovered through many years of a compilation of data, many accidents were caused due to poor housekeeping practices. Maybe you can look into this, and with Jusri, I believe you already have this system in place, yeah? A toolbox talk, which I think is very good, and ensure good housekeeping and welcome feedback on safety and health concerns, not only talking about near-miss reporting, but anything of concern, something that you see, I think is good that the management know about it, and so that some action can be taken to improve the situation. Get it to them, yeah, get it to them. Then of course, encourage near-miss reporting, which is now a trend. Okay, when I first left MOL in 1995, I don't even know what's near-miss reporting. I learned from the industry, and now I teach the industry. Yeah. So recommend for improvements and a peer-to-peer observation and intervention. That means if you have among yourself workers, engineers and engineers, we actually remind one another. Don't offend one another. Okay, friends? This is for everybody's good. Yeah, friends? All right. Questions, friends? Anyone? I wish all of you much safer and more productive and prosperous years ahead. And of course, good business and good fortune for the whole of your organization, Mitsubishi Elevators Singapore Private Limited. Okay, friends, any question?
Any questions?
Remember, if you answer some questions, you don't get any tokens. Claim from Jusri. Okay, friends. So thank you again for providing me with the opportunity to talk to all of you. This is not my first time. I've been giving a lot of talks at different places and some leadership training as well on safety because I'm on the sharing mode right now. Even though I am on a trip to Japan, I still reserve some time to share with you, hoping that it benefit all of you, my friends, including myself and your subcontractors, so that we can look forward to a much safer and more fruitful years ahead. With the tariffs coming on from US, all this, I hope we can get over all this done with no problem, no issue. As long as provide quality service everything is good and everything will be okay. Okay, friends? Anyone would like to say anything, my friends?
Okay, thank you, Salahuddin. Okay, just to share with you,
Yes, sir.
who's supposed to conduct the toolbox meeting? Who? Supervisor? Managers? Okay, I think Jayun is one of them. And I think one more is Chibin, is it? Okay, we did and we try out for the last 2 years. Who's supposed to do the toolbox meeting? It's not the supervisor, it's not the safety. It's the worker itself. Give them a copy of the risk assessment safe work procedure. Today I'm going to install the night rail. Okay, careful. You can speak in your own language. Then the safety or supervisor can explain to the rest. So in this way, you teach me how to do this one, but yet you take a shortcut. We are not to blame him, but when you talk, you show your morale is there. Oh, this morning I thought I cannot make mistake. I must do very well. And you can remember. Okay? So moving forward, I encourage you all, not the safety or supervisor to do the toolbox meeting. Yes, they have to attend. Let the safe worker, today you go to work, this is the one. Okay, you talk. Anything, I add in. Okay? So when you talk, you do, you listen, you can get at least 80%. Okay, this is my suggestion. Because we already try out with these two companies. And it's all very good. Okay?
Do you have a specific format for your toolbox talk, Mr. Jusri?
Yes, they have their own format and all this. Okay, we got our attendance list and all this. And sometimes we follow up with the main contractor using the toolbox meeting.
Yes. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more before we call it off. Yeah. Just to share with you, like in Keppel Shipyard, since 2008, when they first started this toolbox talk, they started only in the morning. Then they find that in the morning, about 65% of the accident frequency rate drop. Very good. So they find that in the afternoon, around 2:30, 3 o'clock, accidents again. Minor accidents, sometimes big accidents. So they decided after 2 years to make it morning once, afternoon immediately after lunch once. So even though doing the same work, let's say more culture, talking about the same thing, never mind. It actually prepares the person, the team for the work. Because sometimes when they have lunch, they actually slept a while to re-energize, and then the alarm sound, oh, they wake up. They are not 100%. They are about 60, 70%. So with the toolbox talk, we can actually bring back their minds to their body and prepare them for the job, even though they are talking about the same thing. It is actually good, and they have seen 85% drop in the frequency of accidents occurring, because accidents is something that very undesirable. It stops your work, it reduces your productivity, and it brings about enthusiasm, people not happy, families not happy, everybody not happy, right? Especially worse if MOM is not happy. When MOM is not happy, what they do, my friends? They stop work. Okay, they stop work, and during my time, stop work can last for 4 to 5 days. Now stop work can even be up to 6 months, my friends. Which is no good. When the company is put under the BAS system, it is going to be 2 years inside there. You cannot participate in any government or government-related tender. This is just for your info. I hope the managers hear me well. This is very good for you. Help ensure that the Jusri and team can ensure a better safety for everyone continuously. I'm sure you did well. I'm sure you did well. Thank you very much again, my friends. Thank you again, Mr. Morisan and Mr. Yano-san, this opportunity.
Thank you again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Have nice years ahead.
Thank you.
Then I'll talk there.